In today's video, I'm going to be discussing my top 5 rookies so far in the 2021 and 22 season. The rookie class coming into the league so far has been pretty interesting. Obviously, we've seen players that have definitely overperformed, players that have underperformed, and overall this is definitely looking like a good draft class. The 2021 draft class could go down as potentially one of the best of this upcoming decade if the players that are playing well right now continue to develop and the players that are disappointing get back to what they were doing in college. This could end up being a really good draft class, and overall, it's been exciting to watch the rookies play so far this year. And like I mentioned, I'm going to be going through essentially my Rookie of the Year ladder, my top 5 for today's video. So let's get started. Before I get into the actual top 5, I have a couple of honorable mentions here. One is Chris Duarte from the Pacers, and the other is Davion Mitchell from the Kings. Both of these players have played their respective roles pretty well. It's just that both of them haven't really stood out yet on both ends of the floor. Duarte has been a pretty good scorer this year, putting up 12 points per game. Overall pretty good offensively, but hasn't really done well defensively yet. And Davion Mitchell has been an absolute clamp god, a very plus player for the Sacramento Kings on defense, and that's really what they need too. But just offensively, yeah, he's not even in double-digit points per game. He's shooting under 40% from the field, so he can't crack my top 5 yet. And then some players here that are just notable guys that aren't in the top 5 that we maybe thought would be going into this year. We have, of course, Jalen Green, who is right now out with an injury, and so far this year he is putting up 14 points per game for the Rockets, but I just don't think he's really settled into his role yet, and it's really caught him off guard just how good NBA defenses can be, as he as well is really inefficient so far this year, shooting under 40% from the field. And then Jalen Suggs as well, who I'm really glad my Raptors didn't pick him because he's really having some trouble settling in the NBA right now, and it's just that same thing. He's really just been kind of shocked, I guess, by how good NBA defenses are. He's only shooting 33% from the field this season, which is obviously very bad, so he's going to get used to the NBA, and he does have some parts in this game that stand out, but for now, he's probably not even in the top 10 rookies yet. Kicking off the top 5 now, at number 5, I've got Josh Giddey, and it was definitely a surprise when he went as high as 6th overall in the NBA draft to the Thunder this year, but he has definitely shown that the Thunder made a very good pick here to get Giddey at number 6. They definitely saw some high potential in him, and he's definitely shown that so far this season. What stands out about Josh Giddey is his playmaking ability, just how good he is at doing things like penetrating towards the rim, drawing attention from the defense, creating space for his teammates, being a good passer, creating wide open shots for his teammates, and overall in general, he just has a very high basketball IQ. I think really his playmaking and facilitating ability goes well with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's pure scoring ability, and I think the Thunder fans really have a lot to be excited about when it comes to their backcourt of the future. So far this year, Giddey's averaging almost 6 assists per game, which leads all rookies by far, and he's also only averaging 3 turnovers per game for about a 2 to 1 assist to turnover ratio, which for a rookie who's playing on the OKC Thunder, who literally have the worst 3-point percentage in the NBA and probably the worst spacing in the NBA as well, this is very impressive. The reason Giddey can't rank higher here is because he's really just a raw scorer so far. He's definitely going to improve here, but so far this year he's shooting just under 40% from the field, 24.4% from 3, and a really poor 45.2% true shooting, which is pretty much 10% below the league average right now. He also provides some pretty good perimeter defense, but really you can see how his playmaking and pretty good defense can get him as high as the top 5, but just so far his inefficiency and his poor shooting can't get him higher. At number 4 on the list, I've got Franz Wagner, and I think that Wagner's really good season so far has really gone under the weather and is really underrated across the NBA community right now. Really because he plays on the Magic and no one cares. But the thing about Wagner is he definitely has, like I said, has an underrated year so far this year and has played his role on the Magic really well, and overall his game is just really versatile, and for the future of the Magic, who in my opinion have overall an underrated young core as well, he's going to play a big role on this team. So far this year he's averaging 14 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and about 3 assists, and you can see how he really has an overall versatile game and can do a lot on both ends of the floor. I mean, when we talk about his defensive game, he can pretty much defend 1 through 4 pretty well, is a good on-ball and off-ball defender, and has good instincts on that end of the floor. And then offensively, he can get you some assists. He's a pretty good playmaker. He can play on the ball and create his own shot. He can play off the ball, space the floor, and be a good three-point shooter. So far this year, he's shooting 38% from 3 on almost 4 attempts per game. So I think his game's been really impressive as well, and we really have to start considering him in the Rookie of the Year conversation as well, as he's had a really underrated season so far. At number 3, I've got Cade Cunningham, the number 1 pick with all of the hype, who started the year injured, and when he came back really struggled with shooting the ball, but he's really starting to hit his stride. This is one really young, talented young man who could honestly go down as one of the greatest players we've ever seen to play the game of basketball. I know that seems like a big overreaction to start, and Cade Cunningham has only played less than a third of a full NBA season, but the thing about Cade is he just has so much talent and so much potential. And so far this year, he's averaging 16 points per game. He is shooting only 39% from the field, but that was really just because of his slow start coming right out of the gate and getting hit hard by knowing that he's in the NBA now. But he's really settled into his role. He's playing like easily the best player on the Pistons now, and he's shooting 32% from 3, which started off really slow, but really in the last couple of games for Cade, he's actually been shooting around 50% from 3. So he's starting to hit his stride shooting the ball. His playmaking has always been impressive this season. As you can see, he does a good job of getting out in transition with his team. He does a good job of running the pick and roll, passing out to the perimeter in the corners when he needs to. And so far this year, he's averaged nearly 5 assists per game. And sure, he is averaging 4 turnovers, but he actually had a bigger problem with turnovers in college than he is now. And he's playing on a team with horrible spacing as well. So if he can just get a little bit of a better supporting cast, better spacing around him, he could be an elite playmaker as well. Not to mention that he's probably one of the best, if not the best, defensive guard in this whole draft class. Cade he's obviously unique because he plays point guard and is 6'6", so he can be a really good perimeter defender, a really good off-ball defender. He's great at moving laterally, getting around screens and all that kind of stuff, but he's also a pretty good interior defender. He can defend down low, protect the rim a little bit, and be a good post defender. He can pretty much defend 1 through 4 or 1 through 5 depending on what team he's playing. So he's really good there, and he's also averaging 6 rebounds per game this year as well. So overall, Cade has a lot of talent, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if by the end of the year, he's the Rookie of the Year. At number 2, I've got Evan Mobley, and so far this season, the Cleveland Cavaliers have been playing very well, and I actually made a video about them earlier on the season about how they could do really well this season and how they were kind of playing chess instead of checkers by using a tall ball lineup with putting Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, and Lauri Markkanen on the floor together along with Kevin Love at times. So what Mobley's done is he's played a really good role with this team, just being big, and defensively he's really stood out on this end of the floor, as he's probably shown that he's already about a top 30 defender in the game right now in his rookie season, being a really good interior presence, having great shot blocking. So far this year, he's averaging almost 2 blocks per game, about a steal per game as well, and overall his interior defense and his post defense has been really impressive. Not to mention he's also averaging 8.3 rebounds per game, and then offensively he's playing his role pretty well here as well. He's putting up so far this year just under 14 points per game on about 54% true shooting. He can be a good post player. He has great fundamentals, can finish around the rim strong, and be pretty good in the pick and roll as well, be a lob threat, and he's actually starting to add a little bit of a 3-point shot as well. He's only shooting 33.3% from 3 and doing it on 2 attempts, but definitely better than what we had seen earlier in the year with Mobley shooting. So overall, he's definitely having a big impact on this Cavs team, and why they've done so well this season has in large part to do with how he's come in here and played like potentially a Rookie of the Year, and it's definitely very close between him and the guy I haven't won. And that guy I do have at number 1 is of course Scottie Barnes. And for those of you who watch my channel and know me, of course you know I'm a Raptors fan, and I actually did make a video a couple weeks ago about Scottie Barnes and if he can be the franchise player for the Raptors or not, so be sure to check out that one as well. I really go in depth on his game, but overall there's really just nothing that Scottie Barnes can't do at a good or elite level so far. He's really impressed so far this year for the Raptors, and so far when you look at the stats and watch both of these players play, I just think Scottie is probably just a little bit better at Mobley than most of the aspects of the game right now. And I know that Mobley's team definitely has a better record, but overall I definitely think Scottie's the more impactful player. You look at his offensive game, he's a very good interior scorer, dominant at the rim. He's starting to add a good three-point shot. He can shoot in the mid-range. He's a good post player, a good secondary playmaker for this team. He's great in transition. So far this year, he's averaging almost 16 points per game on 49% from the field and 37% from three, which is really good efficiency for a rookie coming into the league and not even being known as a scorer. And then rebounding wise, he's still averaging about 8.5 rebounds, and defensively, I would honestly say that he's slightly better than Mobley defensively right now. Scottie Barnes has shown that he's definitely a top 25 defender in the game right now. He can defend 1 through 5. In the interior, he's a very good interior defender for his size, a great post defender, and then on the perimeter, he can go head to head against the league's best. So I really think that Scottie Barnes, if the season ended today, he would absolutely deserve to win that Rookie of the Year award. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 candidates in order from the Rookie of the Year so far this season. If you guys want, feel free to comment down below your top 5 rookies so far this year and who you think should win Rookie of the Year, and I'll see you all next video.